One time I was driving a dude for a bit. It was kind of a long trip. It was going to take around 25 to 30 minutes. This dude wasn't hammered, but definitely was a bit drunk. It was kind of late. He must have been feeling a bit down, so he confided in me, asked me for a little bit of advice. Told me that he's madly in love with his fiance's best friend, that he couldn't back out now. He's been with this girl for 4 years now, and engaged for exactly 1 year, and is ready to marry in just a few months. This was pretty sad to hear, because it wasn't just your average story. It was filled with a lot of subtle emotional and mental anguish. This guy went through about 5 years of ups and downs with his current girlfriend, found an innocent friend, and comfort in the best friend. A few years later, developed feelings, and it was just downhill from there for him. I felt bad for the guy, especially because he seemed like he was truly in love with his fiancée too. Even though he had strong feelings for his friend, he knew that going through with the marriage meant a lifetime of being around the friend and suppressing all of his feelings, but also breaking it off meant that he lost the girl of his dreams. He seemed like a genuinely nice guy, and I hope that he's doing okay. A buddy of mine happened to pick up 2 girls in his taxi. Let's call them Ashley and Emily. They happened to be best friends going out to celebrate Emily's birthday. They were supposed to be going out to the downtown area. As soon as they were both in the car, Emily said that she was not in the mood, that she happened to want to go home. Ashley was pissed off at this, because she was trying to do something nice for her best friend. The two happened to be screaming in the back seat of my friend's car. He decided that he was going to drop off Ashley first. On the way home, Emily explained to him that she didn't want to go out because she is pregnant. That she didn't want to tell Ashley just yet that she was pregnant. She wasn't exactly sure how Ashley would take the news, seeing as how they were both very young and they should still be partying instead of getting pregnant. My friend happened to tell her that she should eventually tell her when the time is right, and if her friend happens to really be her best friend, she will understand and be excited for her. After he got to Emily's location, she paid him and tipped him, told him that he was a great conversationalist, and thank you for all the advice. A while ago, I was called to pick up a 20-year-old something man at a prison. He was arrested for DUI, had cooperated with the police during all the tests. Unfortunately, he had failed all of them. He refused to take a blood test when they asked him to. This didn't sit well with the police officer. He was arrested, was taken to jail, had his driver's license suspended and everything. They needed me to take him home once he was released, which was 3 towns away from where he was located. The trip was 35 miles long. He had made some phone calls while he was in the back seat, which I happened to listen on. He first called his grandmother. He lied to her about why he couldn't keep his apartment, and that he was having to move in with her once again. Then he called his friend, told his friend that he had to cooperate with the police officer at the start of the investigation so that they wouldn't search his car. He also was complaining that the sobriety test wasn't fair, that the line that they asked him to walk on was a slight hill. It was cold that night, so he claims, so he was shivering as well, which somehow affected his balance. He figured that a lawyer would get him his license back once he went to court. In the end, I wished him good luck. I told him that your case doesn't stand a snowball's chance. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but he failed the blood test, and that he was at fault for everything that happened. He didn't leave a tip that night. I was coming home from an airport that was about 19 hours from home. It was a 3-week business trip to Asia. When I gave the driver directions to my house, I happened to call a friend, suggested that she meet me at my house, and we could order some pizza since I was starving, and I was tired, and just wanted to speak English with someone who actually understood. After I hung up with her, my driver said that he couldn't help but overhear the conversation, and if I'm hungry, that he can take me out for dinner. He even joked with me that his English was very good. I insisted that everything was fine. I just wanted to go home, eat some crappy American food, go see my friend, and sleep for a week. He insisted on trying to take me out to dinner, to the point that he actually exited the highway just short of the city to take me to his favorite restaurant. Right as we hit a red light after he exited, I happened to jump out of the car. I yelled at him to open up the trunk so that I can get my luggage and get a safe ride home. He drove off with my luggage still in the trunk. I had to call the police so that they could track him down and get my stuff. I'm glad that I kept my purse and laptop bag in the back seat with me. That way I had all of my electronics and important information. I was never happier that I stuck a business card with my work address, phone, and the ID slot on the suitcases rather than filling out the card with my home information, just in case that he looked at it in the hour it took the police to track him down and get my luggage back. I also have never been happier that the cab company had GPS trackers and could find him really easily. I'm not a cab driver, by no means. I do have a story about a black cab driver that I had once. He happened to find out that I was from the gay capital of the UK. He automatically assumed that I was gay. Then he starts asking me about all the gay friends that I have, all the gay clubs that I go to, about how he used to live there as well. Basically, he admits within 15 minutes of the trip that he has a wife, but he doesn't love her. He happens to like some young guy that he has met. It's very awkward to say the least, but then he started asking me more and more intimate questions. It was a little strange nonetheless, but the positive side, I did get $5 knocked off my fare that day. After he dropped me off and knocked everything off, he said thank you for the conversation, that he really appreciated everything that I told him. I closed the door, and then he drove off, and I went on my own way. I had picked up this young couple. They happened to be overly affectionate and spent the entire trip making out in my back seat. They were telling each other that they loved each other. It was quite cute. After I dropped off the couple, I was headed back to my next fare. I happened to hear a phone ring in my back seat. I realize that it's the previous passengers. I pull over so that I can go pick up the phone, so I can let them know that I had it, that I will be dropping it off as soon as possible. Turns out that it was the guy's wife phoning to check in on him while he was on his business trip, that he was thoroughly enjoying with his mistress. I explained the situation to the woman. I told her that I will not let the husband know about it, and that if he happens to call, I will give him his phone back as soon as humanly possible. She was sobbing on the phone, but she told me thank you, and then hung up. I had to wait almost half the day before he realized that he had his phone. Once I dropped it off to him, I quickly ran away. I knew what was going to happen to this man as soon as he called his wife. I was driving a cab for a while when I was in college. I was dating this girl for about a month, until she admitted to me that she had a boyfriend in Germany. I was told everything about him, and was told that they would be moving in together soon after. After that, I was driving for a few months, when I happened to pick up a drunk couple at the bar. They both were making out all over the back seat. First, I dropped off the girl that he was with. Then I took the man to his destination. While I was driving the man, he tells me all about how he is out on business, and his girlfriend was at home. That he loves the foreign women because they are very easy. He loves how they fall for the accent because they are suckers for it. He also mentions that he cheats on his girlfriend with them while he is out on business trips. I didn't say anything to him, even though I wanted to lecture him about what he was doing. I dropped him off, and to this day I still wonder what happened to him, and I hope that his girlfriend finds out that he is cheating on her.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like, and hit the bell for notifications on future videos, and become a stalker of the night. And I'll see you next time.